microphone button.
Can everybody hear me now?
Yep.
Yep.
Can hear you fine.
So there's one person that I can't hear very loud at all.
That might.
Said,
can you hear me?
I can just hear you really clearly, but nobody else.
Okay. Millie might still be muted. Yeah, Millie, you might be muted in the top right. Did you already check that button?
Oh, okay.
And it's not.
And Margie, can you hear me?
You're very, very quiet.
That's so unlike me. Let me see if I can increase my volume. Is that better? Does that sound better?
A little bit. A little bit.
Okay. Wow.
All right. So, Millie, I'm just going to say if we can't get your microphone to work, then just use the chat if you have questions or anything. Does that sound okay? All right. So I'm going to go back to this. So this is my screen sharing here, and there's the link to the agenda if you want that. All the directions for learning.com that I'm going to go over today are on the agenda, so as long as you have that link, you will have the directions. And I'm just going to follow this and show you learning.com, how you access it, and what it looks like to a student, and then also show what some of the teacher features are. All right, so let me go to learning.com now. And so you all are seeing the learning.com login window, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so let me just talk to you a little bit about learning.com to give you some background. This is a local Portland company, and they provide technology, e-learning, and some assessments and stuff like that. There are some schools in our district that have used it before, but they have an internet safety program that we will have access to for the next 3 years. And so the reason we need this program is that for E-rate funding is what we get reimbursed for certain things we do related to technology infrastructure. And so one of the requirements of receiving E-rate funding is to provide information that you indeed have an internet safety curriculum that can be tracked, that students are doing it. And so this system allows you to track students. And so that, Millie says can't get back on Hangout screen.
No.
So do you not have the screen up, Millie? You might just have to rejoin the Hangout, like leave and then come back in. Okay. So we have access to this. It is only for grades 6 to 12. And we are just starting to upload schools that have grades 6 to 12. So if you're a K-8, only those students that are in grades 6 to 8 will be uploaded. No other students will be uploaded. Middle schools will be uploaded, and then all high schools will eventually be uploaded. And so right now, we are in the process of uploading all the appropriate schools, and that probably won't be done until next week. However, I have created accounts for all of you, so you can go into learning.com and play around with it prior to having your students populated into it. And so everybody that signed up for this session, I created a login for you in learning.com, and your login is your PPS email username, and the password is the same thing. So Margie, yours would be mlawler.
Yeah.
And your password is mlawler. Claudia, it's ctotfes without the T. And then Millie, yours would be msketch. So you have time to look around for that. Anybody else that's watching or listening, if you signed up on the Learning Campus, I also created an account for you. So Pete, if you're listening, yours is P Madden, P Madden.
So do you just put PPS for district?
Yes, for district, just put PPS in the login window, and you can sort of see that on my screen sharing. So I am going to go into this now, and you should be able to see what I'm doing. So I'm going to log in with mlim.
Yeah, because my login information is not working.
Is that you, Claudia?
Yeah,
So see TauGTfest doesn't work.
correct. And then, oh, I'm sorry. The password is the same as our username?
Yep.
Sorry, it just filtered my brain. Yeah, I'm in, sorry.
Okay, so you won't see this. This is my coordinator window. So this is what it looks like when I add accounts and stuff. So you won't have this. What you should see when you log in is something similar to this, which is, and it shows me listed as being at Sabin, which I'm not, but I had to just put a school down. And so you see you have the home classes, library, students, marketplace, and then on the left-hand side you have my classes and my curriculum. Does everyone see that?
Yep.
Okay. And Margie, you've seen this before, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I don't know. So just to let you know, if you want to now look at the PPS curriculum at the top, you just click on that button that says library. So I'm going to click on that. And so here you get a couple of items. So we've got the district curriculum and the licensed curriculum. The bottom is my curriculum, so if you were to create your own units or items, you could do that. I haven't played around with that at all. But district curriculum is what specifically PPS, myself, and someone else from our department, we went through all of Learning.com's licensed curriculum and narrowed it down because there are tons and tons of lessons for grades 6 to 12. So we selected the lessons and activities that we thought would work best so that you didn't have to sift through all of the lessons yourself. So when you click on district curriculum, what you're seeing is the pared down list that we created. So now you've got online safety grades 6-8 and grades 9-12. So I click on view. And so now this is where you see all of the activities that we chose for grades 6 to 8. And is everyone seeing a list of those?
Yeah.
Okay. So this list here, we've got these letters on the side. So L stands for lesson, J stands for journal, D is discussion. Sometimes there will be a Q for quiz, but I don't think we selected any of the quizzes. And so what you can do here is once you've created a class, which we'll go through, but we're not going to go through that right now, you can assign this whole unit, or you can see right now the assign button is disabled because I haven't selected a class. Or I can just select individual lessons and assign them to students or activities.
Melissa, how did you get that list to come up? Because
I clicked on, when you click on district curriculum,
yes,
you have 6-8 and 9-12. I clicked on view.
I see it. I see it. Sorry, I got interrupted.
So let's look at, I'm going to open the first lesson here, instant messaging for 6-8, just to show you what it looks like. And so here it gives you the primary objectives, secondary objectives, teacher notes, extension ideas, categories, and standards. Now, if I click on view right here, this will show you what it looks like to the student. And I wonder if it's going to open or not. There it goes. And so you can see that a module pops up, and this is actually a lesson where kids would be on the computer and doing this lesson. Can you all hear that audio?
No.
Okay, so it goes through and he asks some questions, it asks you questions and you have to select the right answers. And so it's tracking that, and what usually happens, oops, I'm gonna close out of this. It gives you 3 tries to answer a question, and the third time, if you don't get it right, it just marks it as incorrect. And like the second time, it gives you, it gives you a hint. This.
Have you guys lost Melissa?
I did.
Me
I thought it was
Second
me.
time.
Oh.
And then, okay, so I'm back in the library. I'm going to district curriculum. I'm going to go back to 6.8 again. So let's look at a discussion, what that looks like. The journal also, actually I'm going to go to the journal instead. So the journal, that usually is a more involved activity. So generally what teachers tend to do is assign the journal as homework because it's often 45 minutes to 2 hours long, the actual activity can be. So it's a good thing to assign as homework for kids. And kids can access learning.com from home. And every student and teacher has their own individual account. Students only see what's assigned to them. They don't see anything else. Parents can also access learning.com. So if you have some parents that maybe want to go through the actual lessons or activities because they feel like they need to learn learn about some of the resources and stuff, you can do that in learning.com as well. Students that don't finish a module, they can pick up where they left off. So let's view this activity here. And so this journal activity, you'll notice it's an online form. And so kids can fill this out on here and then they can submit it to you. But what they'll want to do is they want to save the assignment. Sometimes they'll have an assignment that they can attach and then submit to you on some of the activities. And so you'll want to have them save it first before they attach it because they might lose some of their work if they are just doing it without saving it first.
Okay, which brings me to the question, do we have the capability of having email accounts for the kids?
So you create one, so the kids are going to be uploaded from each of the schools.
Right.
And so what you'll be able to do is when you're going to create a class, you should have all the kids listed. And it just sends it to you through learning.com. I don't believe you need email addresses for the students.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So I'm going to click out of that. So that was a journal activity. I'm going to go back. And then there are these discussion activities. So let's look at that. Click on view. And so this is actually more of a discussion lesson plan that the teacher would use to actually conduct the discussion in class. I'm going to go back to online safety. Actually, I want to go back to the library because I just want to show you, you can access this licensed curriculum. So this is their full-on curriculum that includes everything. And like there are some parent resources you see here. There's some professional development stuff that teachers could look at. There is the K2 and 3-5 stuff, but like I said, it's not, you're not going to have K5 students uploaded into the system because our contract is for grades 6 to 12, and that's what E-rate also states. So you can look at the K2 and 3-5 stuff, but you're just not going to be able to assign it to kids. So they're not going to be able to do the online interactive modules. And at the end of the agenda, the link is there for you all, but we do have on PPS Connect, we have an internet safety page that is, we have linked to all the common sense media stuff for K5. So if you want to take a look at that and use those resources, those are what we are recommending for grades K5. And if you haven't looked at that site, there are a ton of great resources there, from parent presentations that you can show parents, or they also have lessons and all that kind of stuff. And that website, if you haven't looked at it, is just a great resource in terms of they do reviews of apps, they do reviews of software, of movies, so you get an idea if you want to take your kids to see a certain movie, that kind of thing. So this is the Easy Tech Online Safety. So you could look through this and decide, maybe I'd rather, and I think for grades 6 to 12 on this, I think you can assign this stuff to kids too. So instead of doing it from the district, you could do it from the licensed curriculum. Any questions about that?
I was just thinking about when it becomes mandatory. They're expecting 6 through 8 to go through it. If we went through it this year, then the only ones that hadn't gone through it would be the new 6th graders for next year, or would they want some sort of repeating? You know, what exactly bench line are they looking for?
Well, from what I understand, and I probably will double check on this, is that we just need to show that we have something that we're using.
Okay.
Right now. That's what we need to have proof, evidence of, that we have something that teachers could use that is trackable.
Okay.
So it hasn't gotten detailed as in you need to have this many students passing or whatever.
And Melissa, do we need to let you know we're doing this, or you can automatically track there?
I can tell by looking at your accounts. But I mean, I'll send an email out to you when those uploads are done, because you're not going to be able to do anything with students until those students are in the system. So I'll let you know that. But the other thing is we would love to get your feedback on using this resource. I mean, what are the challenges of using it? What are the strengths? And also just getting student feedback. Do they like it? Are they engaged? Do they think does it seem like it's too young, the way it's set up, like with the animation and all that kind of stuff? And do they like it? So any kind of teacher student feedback we would be happy to have after you've explored and actually used it, see how it went.
Is there any setup that we do, or is, like, as far as entering classes?
You have to you have to create your classes, but that's the only setup you have to do.
Okay.
Because we're uploading the students for you.
Okay. So, like for me, I have, I don't know, like 76 graders, 2 different days. I could set up those 2 classes.
Yes.
Now, and then I'll get their logins later and it'd be ready to go.
Yep.
Okay.
And actually, you might have, I don't know that you can set up that class now, because, let's actually go to that. So I'm going to go to, you can all see my screen still, right?
Yeah, and I have it open on mine. Can I just follow along with you?
That's fine.
Okay.
So I'm going to click on the left-hand side. It says My Classes.
Uh-huh.
And so here I've got a class set up already called Melissa's Test Class. So if I click on that, it's going to show you on the left-hand side, you can see I assigned 5 activities to my class. But let's actually, I'm going to go back to classes. there's a little table with a green plus sign. If I click on that, that lets me create a new class. So it could be period 1 technology or something like that. Period 1 technology class. And then I just click on add. And so now, if I look at the very top, it doesn't look like anything really happened, but it did switch, and now it says period 1 technology class. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to click on that bar on the top. And so now I get this sort of gradebook spreadsheet looking page. And so now this is where, now it tells you, now that you've created your class, it's time to enroll students and then assign the curriculum. So I'm going to click on enroll students. And so here, I think we already entered some Roosevelt students, so let's just try to do a search of 10th grade students. And I don't know if I'll see anything or not, but we'll wait and see. So once the students are uploaded, then you would search by checking off the grade, and then the list of names would show up in the main part of the screen, and you could check off who you wanted to enroll, and then you would just click this button that says enroll selected.
Okay. So will only kids show up when I'm logged in? Is that what you're thinking?
Right. Well, we haven't uploaded the students yet, so nothing is showing up.
But once that happens, when I'm logged in and I click 7th,
yep,
then what I will only see a list of 7th graders from Beverly Cleary School.
Correct.
And Millie will see 7th graders from her school.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. And then it'll be like a little check box or something. I'll just check all the kids that are in my Thursday class.
Yep.
Okay.
So if you see here at the top, there's a button that says school roster, which is where I can search for the grade level. But then I can also click on enrolled students. So these are just fake kids that I entered into my own class already.
Okay.
And so these students have already been enrolled in my test class, but they show up here in case I want to assign them to my period 1 classes. I want to enroll them in that class as well.
Okay.
So that's what it looks like. But once you go to school roster, I wonder if, yeah, I don't think they've uploaded anything. But so if you had to enter a new student that was not showing up in your school list, your school roster, then you would just click this add new student button. And this is what I did to create new students to just have a dummy class. So if you wanted to play around with assigning students or whatever, you could just add some fake new students if you wanted. I mean, because you can always delete them later.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So let me look at my notes here. Let me go back. I'm going to go back to my classes. Oh, let's do assign curriculum. So now let me just enroll a couple of students here. So I'm going to enroll James Bond, Ellen DeGeneres, Ryan Gosling, and Laura Ingalls. So I'm going to enroll them into this period 1 technology class. So I'm going to click on period 1 technology class again. And so now it shows those 4 students I just enrolled, but now I still have this little message that says your class has students, but it still needs to have at least 1 assignment. So now, and it's pointing to this assign curriculum button. So now I click on that. And now it takes me to that curriculum, the library, where it shows the curriculum. So I'm going to go to the District 1, and I'm going to go to grade 6-8. So I need to assign them the cyberbullying lessons. And so I could assign the whole unit right here, like it says, assign unit, but I don't want to do that. I just want to assign a couple of activities, assignments. So I'm going to click cyberbullying. And now it's grayed out. That assign button is grayed out, which means it's been assigned. And I'm going to do, let's see, think before you text.
Melissa, we're seeing you and not the screen.
Oh, let's see. Oh, I'm going to go back to screen share.
Thank you.
There we go. Is that working?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so I just clicked, once I click on the assign button, it's grayed out, and then just like if you hover over something, you usually get a little helper message. So if I hover over the assign button, it tells me this item is already assigned. And then maybe I want to do one more lesson activity on validity and sourcing. And if you look at this, you see the grade it's recommended for, the time that it would take. And you can also give these ratings, which is nice. And also, I don't think we talked about it before, but when you go to a certain lesson, like if I go to validity and sourcing, you can add comments to the lesson. Like if it's not appropriate or there's some inappropriate content, you can add the comment, or you can say concerned about this content. If you add a comment in the comment field here, it can be seen by everyone. But if you click, if there's something inappropriate or whatever, you need to click on concerned about this content.
And who sees that?
That goes to the developers and the people at learning.com, and the people who are assigned to read those concerns. Okay, so the other thing, I'm going to go back to my class here, Period 1 Technology class. So here I've got my 4 students, and it's got those 3 lessons that I assigned to them. And then you'll notice up here at the top, there are print login cards. So now this will, if you click that, you'll print out login cards that you can hand out to each student. So the other thing, once we upload it, that's what we're trying to figure out, is to auto-generate a username and a password, and then it would just be on this, it would be here when you clicked on it. Because what I had to do when I added new students is I had to assign a username and a password. I actually can auto-generate a username, but then I just selected a password for them, but we're trying to figure out a way where you don't have to do that. And then at the top here, where it says Period 1 class, it shows that I'm in the gradebook right now. If I go to settings, this is something I wanted to show you because this says student tracking is on, yes. So if you want parents to access this, when you create a class, you want to turn the student tracking off. So you want it to say no. So the only way that parents can look at this material is if it's a non-tracked class. So what you would do is just create a new class. Maybe you're calling it Fernwood Parents class. And then you could just create a generic account and add a new student. And then maybe use some, just create a username and password of yourself. And then you can hand that out to parents and they can access all these resources with that account that you created. Does that make sense?
Yeah, got it.
Yeah, so you just need to have student tracking turned off, and that's in settings for the particular class.
But for classes, you want that on.
Yes, you want that on. And by default, it's on.
Okay.
And also you'll notice here under assignment sequence, it's open, but you'll see, I don't know if you can read the note, it says classes with forced assignment sequence require students to complete assignments sequentially. So if you have it on forced, they have to finish all of the activities in a certain order before they can move on to the next assignment. So if you assign them 3 things, they can do whichever 3 they want. But if you have maybe a certain sequence where they're building upon skills and knowledge from the previous lesson, you can set it to be forced.
And what's the default?
This by default was open. So when
Okay.
I just came to settings, it was already set to open.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions on this stuff so far?
Nope, looking good.
So just so that you know, when we chose the lessons for the district curriculum, we really wanted to focus on the digital citizenship aspect of internet safety rather than being scared that somebody is going to try to stalk you or whatever, like the stranger danger type of stuff. It was really focused on making sure that students have the skills, tools, and knowledge to be the best digital citizens that they can. And so that's how we tried to select the lessons in the district curriculum, the assignments there. You can also print reports in learning.com. And so on the left-hand side here, on the bottom, there's, oh, actually, here's something else to tell you about. There is duplicate a class or group. So there's the little icon with 2 pieces of paper. So if you have a class that's multiple periods, you can just duplicate it so you don't have to, enter all the kids twice. And then up here at the top, under where it says period 1 class, there's the class assignments tab, then there's a students tab, and then there's like a pie chart, and that's a reports button. And so I have different kinds of reports that I can run to look up student gradebook report, student detail report, curriculum item report, so on and so forth.
And those are just, they automatically pop in there?
Yep, so if you do an activity, and I think it's mainly pass-fail kind of things.
Uh-huh.
Because I haven't actually, as a student, finished a whole module, so I don't know what it looks like in the gradebook, but let me go to, let's see. So here it tells me the activity has not been started, but I think these would be pass fail. I'm not positive, I can't remember. And then if you're actually, I clicked in the field here. So let's say, so I put 5 out of 8. I just entered something. It should automatically populate, but I can override that and enter something manually. But once the student finishes, they can add something. It will automatically add it to the gradebook. So I can delete that. Maybe I can't delete it. Oops, put it 0. And then, of course, in the top right here, you've got the help button, and this leads to videos and PDF files that you can look at. And I've actually linked to those on the agenda. So you can either get to this page by clicking on the help in learning.com or actually clicking on the links in today's agenda. Those are the basics of learning.com. Let me actually just go to the PPS Connect page. And so PPS Connect is the site where you can go, and it's secure, meaning that to access any of these resources on PPS Connect, you have to log in with your PPS email username and password. I don't think that's going to come up for me because I'm already logged into it, but under academics, there's a link to the internet safety site. And so from here, you've got all the Common Sense media materials, and they have them for K-5 as well as 6-8 and 9-12. We've linked to those. And then we've also got some other links on the right-hand side here.
Okay, which is why I want.
And so that's linked in the agenda as well. Any other questions about anything?
Just take some time to look at it. And
Yeah.
figure it out.
So once everything, ooh, once everything is uploaded, I'll send an email out to you all, but you all have accounts that you can explore and look at and stuff right now for yourselves. And then and I'm not sure if it will be done before winter break. It might be done like a week before winter break, or it might not be finished. They might work on it during winter break when you all are on vacation. So,
Yeah, it'd be nice to have it when we get back. But
yeah. I'm confident that it'll probably be ready by then. So they should.
does it all happen at once? It's not school by school, or?
Yeah, so we're only uploading, it's the list of schools that have grades 6 to 8. So it's not a ton, but if I don't include the high schools, it's probably about, I don't know, it looked like the list had at least 30 to 40 schools.
Okay.
And how are the other schools getting this information? Is it
So right now, the schools that are getting this information are librarians, because we are working with librarians, teacher librarians, and counselors. And so in some of the high schools, we're hoping that the librarian will work with the counselor. And then also, if in your own buildings, if you have teachers that you know would be interested in this, just let me know and I can create teacher accounts for them.
okay?
That's not a problem. And
All right.
like I said, just let me know who they are. I'll get the account created for them. And then, I'd probably want some feedback from them about how it's going and what they think and stuff. Any other questions?
I don't think so.
So if you could, on the agenda, there is a link to the evaluation, and it's the same evaluation we always do, but if you could just fill that out for today's session, I would appreciate that.
Okay.
And if you don't have the link to the agenda, let me get it on the screen here. Like I said, all the notes are here, all the links. There it is. And if you have any questions or you want to add teachers, just email me. If you have questions about how to do something, you can also email me, or for librarians, you can email Susan Stone, because she also has a coordinator account. So she can help you, Margie, if I'm not available for whatever reason.
Okay.
Can you read that?
Yeah, so that's bit.ly, so bit.ly/PPS TFPD. So Tech Facilitator PD, TFPD is the link.
Okay, great.
All right. So thanks for sticking in there during our technical difficulties. That always seems to happen every session. I don't know how to prevent that.
Not bad this
Melissa,
time.
how
though.
do I
You're
get
halfway
the
right.
agenda to pop up for me?
Type in the URL, so bit.ly.
The agenda too? Okay.
Well, the agenda has the link to the evaluation on it.
Right. So is that saying it's the same bit.ly?
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's actually two different links. One will go straight to the evaluation and one will go to the agenda.
Got it. Okay.
But if you go to the agenda, you can just scroll down and look for the evaluation link.
Okay.
Yeah, so hopefully, like Mari, have you used Google Hangouts before?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
So.
I tried the first one, then I had to go. And,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So
Yeah.
this was a good experience.
Yeah, so It seems to go more smoothly each time, and I don't know why. I think I just need to try to find a different computer to use, because it's always, I'm on the same computer when that happens where I cut out and then I have to rejoin. But luckily, I mean, the whole system, it still keeps running even though I've dropped out. So you all were still there, and the broadcast was still recording even though I got cut out, which is nice. So, all right, ladies.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks a lot. Bye bye, everyone.
Bye.
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 Bye.